Good morning. It is a late devotional. I am having microphone trouble. My lapel microphone, the lavalier microphone, whatever you want to call it, it died. It gave up the ghost. And speaking of number 5, we are going to start diving deeper into Satan, the god of this world, who he was and who he became. And then we're going to look at his different names. And then we're also going to look at his ultimate destruction. So we are diving deeper, and let's just jump right into that. This one I'm going to try to keep short. I may do today's devotional, and I may go ahead and record tomorrow's devotional and set it to come available tomorrow. But if I don't do a devotional for tomorrow, that is because tomorrow's my anniversary. So I'll try to record that one today, and it'll post tomorrow, the 6th or the 17th. So today is the 16th of October 2025. I hope you had a good week. I hope you were able to be in church last night. And again, there'll be resources in this video in the description. And also can take you over to my website, brokenroadjourney.com, and a place to find a good Bible-believing, preaching, teaching church in your area. So, 2 Corinthians chapter 4. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. We're going to open this up because we haven't read in a couple days. And that is where we are at with our daily devotion. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 3 and 4. But if our gospel be hid, it is hidden them that are lost, and whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel, who is the image of God, should shine on to them. So we're looking at the God of this world and what he is doing to mankind. So turn your Bibles over to Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. And Isaiah 14 we've already read, but we're going to break down some things about the God of this world and how he fell and why specifically Lucifer, which is now Satan, why he fell. So Isaiah 14, look there in verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? So Lucifer is light bearer. But because of what we're about to read, he fell from God. Now, understand something. Satan is not forbidden to go to heaven. He still can access part of heaven. He may not access the whole thing, but he can still access part of heaven at this time. And in Job chapter 1 and Job chapter 2, we can see where Satan still has somewhat of an access to heaven. He's just not allowed to reign in there. And he's not allowed to reign in there because these 5 things. There are 5 things Satan said that led to ultimately him being cast out. And there's 5 total casting outs of Satan in the Bible, which we're going to look at either probably early next week, possibly, but maybe even we'll start covering it in tomorrow's devotional if I do it tomorrow, and if not, I'll do it Monday. So there are 5 things Satan said, Lucifer said to God from his heart. Listen to this. For thou, and 13, verse 13, 13 is the number of rebellion. Judas Iscariot, the son of perdition, Judas Iscariot is 13 letters, but 13 letters is the number of rebellion. Nimrod, the 13th from Adam, he rebelled against God, created Babylon. Now, for thou hast said in thine heart, number 1, I will ascend into heaven. Number 2, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. 3, I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. 3. Number 4, I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. And number 5, This is the big one. I will be like the Most High. Now, this is the things that got Satan kicked out of heaven from reigning up there. Now, Satan's fall, his first fall, and there's 5 falls of Satan in the Bible. His first fall was before the Garden of Eden. Once Satan fell, he went from Lucifer, which was 7 letters, by the way, 7 letters, God's number of perfect completion, or God's number of completion, 14 letters. That's interesting in itself. 7 and 7 is 14, ultimate completion, which is something we're going to look at when some of these names pop up. Okay? Because this is all talking about Satan's fall, but it's also talking about the Antichrist rise and fall. So it's a dual application. It's past with Satan's original fall because what he did, but it's also future because this is the same thing when the Antichrist shows back up. Yes, I did say shows back up because he does. The son of perdition, John chapter 17, Jesus Christ called Judas Iscariot the son of perdition. Okay? When Judas Iscariot shows back up, the son of perdition, that's what Paul calls the man of sin, the Antichrist. He calls him the son of perdition. When he shows back up, he does the same thing. And when does he show back up? In the tribulation. Revelation 13 and 17 show him directly. Now, there's also a reference to him, which there's 4 stages of the Antichrist and his rise when it talks about the 4 horsemen. So there's all kinds of things in this Bible. And by the way, there are 14 letters in the title Son of Perdition. Interesting little nugget. 13 letters in Judas Iscariot, 14 letters in the number son of perdition. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, so these 5 things Satan did, this is what led him to getting kicked out. And so this is previous. Ezekiel chapter 28. Ezekiel chapter 28. Let's look at Ezekiel 28 again. And Ezekiel 28, I'm going to get the right verses here. (11 through 19) describe Satan's beauty, which is ultimately what led him to his fall, is his beauty and his purpose. He was reflecting God's glory. He was the light bearer. Look at verse 11. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Thou sealest up the sum full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, the topaz, and the diamond, and beryl, and the onyx, and the jasper, and the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of the tabrets of thy pipes was prepared in thee, and the day thou wast created. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth. I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in the ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. By the merchandise of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence. And thou hast sinned, therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. There's some more nuggets that we'll cover probably next week about those cherubs and the coverings of fire, and the lightning that flashed around them, and the lightning that flashed through them. and what Jesus Christ said about Satan and his fall specifically. Thine heart, verse 17, thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuary by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquities of the traffic. Therefore will I bring forth fire from the midst of thee. It shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of them that behold thee. All they that know thee among thy people shall be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shalt thou be any more. That's all I got for you today. So we see the 5 things that Satan said. Let's review. He said 5 things. He said, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. By the way, the stars, other angels and angelic creatures. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud, and I will be like the Most High. Those 5 things leads to his 5 steps of his fall and ending in his destruction. All right, that's all I got for you today. Questions, comments, concerns, go over to my website, brokenroadjourney.com. You can message me there. Again, there's some resources here. There's some other resources on my website under the resources tab. Lord willing, we'll talk again. God bless.